I just moved in. The apartment hunt was mental. Rents went way up from my uni days when I was last hunting for them. I finally found a nice, cozy apartment I could have, even though I never met the actual owner. After searching for a while, I just stopped and decided to ask in every call if they got anything cheaper. And finally, this one guy did. He just said, "Hey, actually I do. I have this place, but no one actually stays in it for long, and it's a fixer-upper, so you can have it for $180 a month." This worked for me. He sent me the contract via email and left the keys in a post box, which was super weird. But everything seemed legit, and it works for me because, well, I don't talk to people anymore. I don't like to talk to people. I don't like people. It didn't happen all at once, no dramatic falling out or grand isolation, just a quiet slipping away. Messages stopped, calls dried up, a kind of silence that grows naturally when no one bothers to fight for friendships anymore. And maybe I stopped fighting too. I just needed to get away from everything. It was exhausting me. The fake smiles I needed to wear for every dinner, event, or any social gathering. I just realized I'm better off being alone, without needing to fake my state of mind. And it finally worked. I was finally at peace. Happy. The apartment is small. 2 rooms. I now know why it is so cheap. The heat doesn't work and the hallway light's been flickering since I moved in. The landlord doesn't care, and neither do I. I keep the curtains drawn. I cook what I can afford. I don't look in the mirror much, and I don't really care about it. I'm not a social person, and I don't go out much. Issue is, I also do not sleep well. I always had an issue with that, so most nights I just spend on the couch watching Netflix, followed by a morning coffee and back to the day at hand. There's even a worn spot on the couch cushion that fits me perfectly. That's my place now. But there is also one thing I didn't mention. There, in the corner. It's the far left one, just behind the bookshelf I never finished unpacking. I use the boxes of books as chairs at this point. That's where it stays. I didn't notice it at first. When I first moved in, I just lived in the chaos. The idea was to just sort things out as I go. At first, I thought it was a pile of laundry I'd forgotten to sort, but when I tried to move it, my hand passed through something soft that resisted, like pressing into a pillow that pushes back, except colder. Damp, maybe. It didn't make sense. But since I was lacking sleep for basically my whole life, the idea of my mind playing tricks on me wasn't really news. So I left it. The next day, it was sitting a little straighter, I think. The shape was still low to the ground, maybe 2 feet tall at best, like a lump with no real features. But now it had posture? That was the first time I looked at it for more than a second. It didn't seem like anything much, really. It was like a weird, ragdollish stuffed bear to keep me company. In a strange way, it made the room feel less empty. I started calling it Mop. Not because it looked like one, exactly. More because I didn't know what else to name a small, lumpy presence in the corner that just sat there and didn't go away. At this point, I figured maybe it's not just in my mind. It's there, for a while now. I just kind of got used to it through ignoring it for most of the time. I just shrugged it, and whatever it was, it beats a plant. People talking to plants are weird. Mop didn't react to its name, but I found myself talking to it anyway. Like a roommate I wasn't sure existed. "Hey, Mop, you eat dreams or just leftover sadness?" Or, "I dropped spaghetti on the floor. That's your problem now." The more I joked, the more I felt like it was listening. I'm probably losing my mind again. One night I left a slice of toast on a napkin near the corner. Not out of fear, more like a joke. A joke of realization I was a sad guy with no one to talk to, but a few rags in the corner. I said, "Here, freeloaders get crumbs." The next morning, the toast was gone. Napkin, too. No crumbs, no mess, nothing. It wasn't mice. I got rid of those when I moved in, as well as patched the holes in the walls. That was the first time I understood that maybe, just maybe, it could actually move. I didn't panic. I wasn't even surprised. I think a part of me had already accepted that Mop was real before I wanted to say it out loud. And more than that, it was staying. I didn't mind. It wasn't hurting anything. If anything, it made the space feel a little less empty, a little less lonely. It was a crazy guy's imaginary friend that replaces normal people's companions, like dogs, cats, or cactus. And I shrugged and just kept feeding it leftovers. A dog, I said to myself. It's basically kind of a weird dog. And shrugged. As the days passed, it started to change. Not drastically, just small shifts. It would be closer to the couch some mornings, or perch slightly higher, like it had grown an inch overnight. It was weird. Its shape got a little smoother, a little more defined, like a melted snowman slowly reforming. At some point, I noticed it had two soft-looking stubs, like arms? No, fingers. Just rounded bumps like plush limbs sewn into a stuffed animal. Am I losing my mind? Am I actually falling asleep and sleepwalking? Eating leftovers and sewing laundry parts onto a sewn-together bunch of laundry? Then it was the first time it moved while I was looking at it. I had just come back from a walk, an errand I had to run, soaked in rain and sick with exhaustion. I collapsed onto the couch without a word, face down into a pillow. After a few minutes, I felt something nudge against my shin. Not hard, just a bump. When I opened my eyes, Mop was a few inches closer than it had been. Its little arms were drawn in like a child hugging its knees. It looked concerned. I didn't move, just whispered, "I'm okay." It didn't reply, but it didn't leave either. I'm going mental again. I'm imagining things again, but then it blinked. I jumped, gasped, and then, I don't really know. I just kind of accepted that I am going crazy. I'm not sure. Am I going crazy? But if I am crazy, I might just as well accept it and go on. It's not like anyone will notice it. From then on, it followed me from room to room, always in the corner, always where it wouldn't be seen from the windows. Sometimes I'd catch it staring, not in a threatening way, more like a dog watching its owner with quiet focus. I'd eat dinner and Mop would be nearby. I'd read in bed and Mop would be tucked in the corner, faintly rocking side to side. This went on for a while. I guess I do have a pet, I just can't walk it or show it. Who would I show it to anyway? And why would I walk it? This suits me. I didn't feed it every day, but when I did, the food always disappeared. Then, it started purring. Or something like purring. A low rhythmic hum that filled the room like the inside of a seashell. I guess it's not a dog. I guess I'm a cat person after all. And I just accepted it again. It's a weird-ass cat. Yes, it also makes sense as it didn't really like to touch or be touched. Cats are assholes. But then it would cuddle next to me. Weird-ass cat. I'd be halfway through a sentence, reading some old fantasy novel out loud, and it would start vibrating gently, like it was pleased. It was cute in a strange way, like a cat. I really do need to define it. It's weird I redefine it every so often. Yes, this is final. It's a cat. A cat with no mouth and too many thoughts, but it's a cat. My cat. My weird, creepy, strange cat. One night I had a breakdown. No real reason. Not that I needed one. Not that it was so uncommon. But it was, more than usual. Just the accumulation of things. Life, memory, a crushing sense of uselessness. I sat on the bathroom floor with the lights off, crying into my sleeves, and for the first time in months, I wanted someone, anyone, to knock on the door, someone to care. Instead, something warm touched my back. I turned slowly. Mop was there, pressed against the frame, just barely tall enough to reach me. One stubby arm rested on my shoulder. It didn't feel slimy or heavy, just soft, solid, like someone small trying to comfort someone falling apart. It was so fragile, so gentle. I didn't say anything. I didn't need to. I just leaned into it. I think it stayed there all night. Then I realized it cared for me far more than I cared for it. I was dismissing it, not even admitting it was there on a daily basis, still feeding it as a joke. Sometimes I just kicked it out of the way and it just curled into a corner. But from that day on, I fed it daily. Real meals, bowls with broth, bits of chicken, steamed rice, sometimes eggs. I always made more and made sure to share with it, and it never left a trace. I started leaving out books, too. Mop never opened them, but I think it liked the idea of stories. I'd read aloud while it listened, swaying gently or curling tighter when the characters were in danger. This gentle little thing that I couldn't explain. What if I told someone? Would someone take it away as a wild animal? But it wasn't an animal. It was Rags. I still don't know what it is, but I knew I had to take care of it. It never made a sound, not once, but I never doubted it understood me. I stopped thinking of it as a thing or a creature. It was just Mop, my Mop. Then one day, one strange day, if strange can be described as different at this point, someone probably decided it's worth checking that lone-lighted apartment in an otherwise pretty empty building. I heard breaking in the main entrance door with a crowbar. I heard steps coming up, squeaking floorboards. It was around midnight. I was awake, reading on the couch. Mop curled in its corner with an apple in a bowl beside it. The lock rattled once, then again. A heavy, deliberate push followed. Someone on the other side of the door whispered something I couldn't make out. I froze. I didn't have anything to defend myself with. No bat, no knife. My phone was across the room and my legs wouldn't move. As defunct as I am, this scared me out of my mind. A sudden flash of clarity or reality. I am in danger. The door creaked open, just a few inches, enough to see a foot, booted, heavy, and a hand wearing leather gloves pushed it further, and a man stepped into the room. Pale, blank-eyed, a black hoodie. I'm not sure what he came for, but I guess he saw me, or the place, as easy pickings on whatever he could get. People get by how they can. He wasn't frantic like you'd expect, just there. Like breaking into homes was his shift, and I was just his task for this night. There is no rest for the wicked. He didn't speak. He didn't demand money. He just raised a long kitchen knife and stepped forward. I guess he didn't expect me to be there or awake. I couldn't even scream. Then Mop moved. As scared as I was, my mind now focused on how I need to save him. He was helpless. I needed to do something. I needed to protect him somehow. But then Mop moved slightly forward again. It didn't leap. It didn't make a sound. It just unfolded. It grew taller, not in the way things stretch, but like a shadow deepening, if I can describe it in this way. Its shape swelled until it filled half the room, like it's devouring walls, like growing over the walls, eyes opening where no eyes had been, and more, every wall turned into a black shadow with more eyes than I could count, glowing faintly like stars in deep fog. Its stubby arms became wings or veils or something in between. I froze. No, I was paralyzed. It didn't move. It didn't attack. It simply was. The man stopped mid-step, looking around him, looking up while his knife hit the floor. He was terrified. He tried to turn, but the room had bent around him. The shadow covered his legs up to his waist. The light grew dim and sharp all at once. The air folded inward like a vacuum, closing, like reality was twisting into a point, and then darkness. For a moment that felt like forever, and the next moment, he was gone. No sound, no scream, no trace, as if the world had corrected a mistake. Mop shrank back to its original size, curled into its old shape, and rolled quietly into the corner like nothing had happened. I sat on the couch and sat there for hours, unable to move. I didn't ask what it was. I didn't need to. I didn't know, but nothing can explain this. Nothing could. Nothing needed to. It had chosen to protect me. The next morning, the bowl was empty, and Mop blinked up at me. It smiled. Not with a mouth, it had none, but with its entire being. A soft warmth radiated from it like a hug held at a distance. I think it was proud of itself, and I wasn't afraid of Mop. Not of Mop, not really. I was afraid of what I didn't understand, afraid of what it had the power to become, and the fact that it chose not to. It could have unmade the world if it wanted to, bend reality to its will, but it didn't. It stayed small, kind, patient, quiet. It let me talk down to it, let me feed it like a pet, let me insult it, laugh at it, ignore it on bad days, even kicked it. It accepted all of it because it wanted to stay. And I don't know why it chose me, but I don't know what would have happened if it hadn't. So I feed it now, properly, lovingly. I clean the bowls now, even though I do not understand how it feeds. I speak gently. I read with feeling. I never leave it alone for too long, and when I have bad nights, I let it curl up near my bed, just out of sight. Not because it needs me, but because it's choosing not to need more. Because it's choosing to be small. Because it let me live. And because I understand now, and that's what terrifies me.